Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I'm making a tier list of all the Dragon Ball games. Wow, I haven't played every single one of these because, you know, they're like not all of them were available. I can't read Japanese, but or I tried the best I could to try to play them, but they weren't turn out. I'll say some of the games were kind of available, but I was not able to play them because of I was able to play them, but I record video. They're super boring, and I just didn't want to upload it because it's a bit boring. And I did post a video on one of the games I found super boring. I don't remember which game that was. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. Anyway, let's get into this. Actually, before we get into this, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get into this. So Dragon Ball, I don't know Hadokana Densetsu. I think that's how you say it. It's mid. It's like C tier. It's just a card game. I forgot to put F there. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like there's better. This is a DS game, I believe. It's just like, yeah, it's okay. Never play. I will say I never played this. If I didn't play them, they're on the bottom. Dragon Ball Online, I could not play, sadly. It was an online game that service shut down, so I was not able to play it. And I didn't really have a computer that could run it back then, or I could run it, but I didn't know about it. And even if I did, well, actually, no, I didn't have a computer that could run it. It was a really terrible laptop that was actually like the worst. Barely run Roblox back in 2000 something. Dragon Ball Evolution, let's say it's a B tier video game. It's a fine video game. It's not the best. It's not the worst. I think it does what it does. It's better than the movies. I think they with what they had to work on. They worked well. I played Yamcha, and I thought his moveset was pretty. It was pretty funny. It was pretty like unique for what they could do. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. This is an S tier game. There's like no doubt about it. I am not good at Budokai, but I love the series. I think without Budokai, a lot of the fighting games wouldn't exist, or a lot of Dragon Ball games would exist, or the Dragon Ball fighting games, because the fighting game right before Budokai was the fighting games before that were special. That's how I'll say it. They're not very good, but I think Budokai series was just amazing, and I think Budokai 3 kind of perfected the Budokai genre. Now this game, I can't read French, and I think that's what it is. Dragon Ball Battle Z is a D tier game. It would be F tier. Actually, no. Yeah, it would probably. It would be borderline F tier. However, the one thing that saves it is the two-player aspect. How you can left. It was the game you played with. Like, if I was to play with my friends, I'd hop this on. We could do 4 people playing at once. It looks really cool, and it feels Dragon Ball. That's what's saving it. The gameplay is terrible. The balance is pretty terrible. I just think it's not a good game. In general, I just think the graphic stuff held out. Supersonic Warriors 2. I'm pretty sure I made a video on this, and I did. I'm sure now. This is an A tier game. Supersonic Warriors 2 is this game. First of all, holds a special heart in my place. It got me through boring classes in middle school. That was actually the first time I played Supersonic Warriors, never before, and I loved it. So it holds a special part in my place. It's a very fun game. Combat, it's not super unique or not super out there, but like it's simple. It does what it needs to do, and I do like how everything is. And when the one thing that can either be annoying or nice is that when you choose transformations, like, 'cause you can pick transformations. Every single character. So you want to do Super Saiyan Vegeta, Super Saiyan Trunks, Super Saiyan Goku, you have to go through like one menu, then another to pick, and like multiple times just to pick the Super Saiyan version. Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I played a bit of it, not too much, so I can't say too much on it. But from what I played, it's an S tier game, because I think it's in between 3 and 1, and those are both. Well, no, I would say 1's S tier, but 3 is definitely S tier. One's pretty good. but I think 2 definitely you could. I played 1, 2, 3. 2 works off the format of 1. It feels super close to 3, but 3 definitely had more refinement in my opinion. But I think the combat is more fun, but unfair at the same time. I don't really know how to. I didn't have too much play time, so I can't speak too much. I'll preface this again. I didn't play all these games for super long, so I can't say anything. Now, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is S tier. I played this game a lot, and I loved it. And I have every single character, every single one. I beat all like the story stuff. It's an amazing game. The soundtrack's amazing. The fighting is amazing. I will say I had more fun with Budokai Tenkaichi 2 fighting. There's something about it. It felt kind of like I felt more power somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is only slightly a step down, but in almost everything else it's a step up. I love that game. Now, Raging Blast 2, despite the fact that I played like 4 times on the channel, and the other games only like once or twice, I think it's only an A tier game. I just think it definitely has its like problems with like balance and stuff. I think ultimates do far too much damage and are far too easy to get up. The story mode, well, it doesn't really have a story mode. It has like a weird thing. I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like it's just not. It doesn't service what could have been for like a story mode. But oh yeah, and beam. I don't think there were beam clashes, and I just think it doesn't service everything that you would want for a game that's so reminiscent of Tenkaichi. Which I do get that they weren't trying to be Tenkaichi. It was something different. But I feel like there are a few flaws, so I have to give it an A tier. Attack of the Saiyans. It's a B tier game. It's like nice. It's an RPG. Like, I love RPGs, so you can't go wrong. It's just that, I don't know. Something about Dragon Ball and RPG doesn't fit to me. But I think this worked well. Just usually when I Dragon Ball game, I like fighting. Fighting. And that's what I got. Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Heroes. It's C. Actually, no, it's D tier. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's kind of fun itself. However, my biggest gripe with Super Dragon Ball Heroes, other than the most god-forsaken power skill of all time, is the fact that, oh my god, they want you to buy the cards in real life, which are fine, I get, if you want to buy a card to play a game. But you literally can unlock characters to do that in arcades. The game, it's very slow getting new characters, and the chance of getting some characters are terrible. But once you have some good characters, you basically just can't lose. Or if you don't have the good characters, it's just terrible power creep. And I just think that's why I can't put it above that. And I don't know what that game is. That's just Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball, I think this is Butoden Kai, whatever it's called. It's A tier. Actually, I was high B. I put high B. If you don't know what it is, it's like this Budokai, but on the DS, and Dragon Ball Kai. Well, it's Dragon Ball Z, basically. I think it's a fine game. It can get boring at times, but I think I really love what it does in everything it's able to do. Especially on like a limited piece of hardware, because it's not like the PS3 or like the PS5 or anything. Like, they did what they could, and which is a thing with other Dragon Ball games. But I feel like this does it the best with what it could. Dragon Ball Origins, if I'm correct, give me a second. I believe this is the game I'm thinking about. This is this game. If you're wondering, I play on the channel. It was all right. It was pretty boring while playing, but it's like mid. It's C tier. It's a nice little game. I mean, I don't know. It's just they did. I will say they nailed like the adventure aspect of Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, but I felt like it could get like really boring. There were like giant sections. It was just not it. Now, Dragon Ball Raging Blast 1. I hold in the same regard as Raging Blast 2. I will say Raging Blast 2 is a bit more refined, But the one thing I like more about Dragon Ball Raging Blast 1 is the graphic style. So, if you don't know, the graphic styles are two different types of styles. Well, that's a given, but let me search this up real quick. Give me a second. I do think they are both phenomenal games, though. So, Raging Blast 1 versus... Let me just search up Raging Blast 1. I think Raging Blast 1 gives more of that Dragon Ball look. Okay, that's Raging Blast 1 versus 2. I just think 1 gives like more of the Dragon Ball look to it with the shading and all that. And also, I like how the hairs are more like blonde, how it was originally, than golden in Raging Blast 2. I think the graphics I hold higher regard. So yeah, these Dragon Ball Heroes games, I'm not gonna lie, I did not play them, and I didn't play the Super Nintendo game, but I didn't play all the games. That's just the truth. Dragon Ball Shin Budokai is another road. Shin Budokai, another road. Honestly, I love Shin Budokai. You saw I raved about those, but this game was kind of just A tier. My main reason for that is because I think the game is great, really good. I love the Shin Budokai games. You saw me play them. You saw me like them. However, my biggest gripe is that this game did not have to be like designated as a spin-off. Realistically, it was just Shin Budokai, but again, and if there's gonna be a spin-off, there was no really major like changes or anything done to the game. Just like, you know, a few different characters. So I think that's my gripe with the game. But yeah, I don't know why there's that. Dragon Ball Budokai 1 is S tier. Dragon Ball Budokai 1 is my favorite Budokai game. Well, 3 I think is the best. 1 is my favorite. I just hold this game in my heart specially. Right here to the left of me. You guys can't see it, but maybe one day when I do face cam, that's the wrong game. I have Budokai 1 for the PS2. It's not in the case because it's my PS2. Because I actually still play it to this day with friends. They come over, we play some Budokai 1 because it's generally just a phenomenal game that I could play for the rest of my life and still have fun. Even if it's outdated, I just think it holds up extremely well. Even for the outdated extremely well don't mix together, but I think you all know what I mean. Dragon Burst Limit, Dragon Ball Burst Limit. I think I don't put it S tier, but I put an A tier along with Raging Blast 2 and Raging Blast. I think it's better. I just think it's the same. I have the same reason for Raging Blast 2 for Budokai Tenkaichi as I do Burst Limit and Budokai. It's just they're the same game but different. And I feel like there's some things I just think are better with Budokai. It's just a good game. I just think it's amazing. And I just realized I was talking about Budokai, not Budokai Tenkaichi, but I still hold Budokai in the same regard. Not that I play it all the time, but that it's a very amazing game and holds up well. So that Budokai Tenkaichi, those reasons and why it's S tier. That's why. I do like Budokai Tenkaichi more. I just like the 3D style. Can't tell what that is. Don't know. Dokkan Battle. Now if you ask me like during the 7th anniversary, I would have said S tier. However, right now, it's A tier. Because Dokkan Battle has been so hit or miss. And actually now I'm putting it down to B tier. Both Dragon Ball mobile games, whatever Legend is, are B tier. Because I just think microtransactions are obviously heavily emphasized in the game. However, I think gacha games really have the worst of microtransactions. Because I'm paying like $8 for not even half a summon. If you have the thing where it gives you extra stones. If not, then you have to spend like a good $20 for a summon. $16-20 for a summon. Which I think is just ridiculous for both games. And They're two different games. One, I think they both do very well graphically. I do prefer Dokkan. I kind of deleted Legends, but I do know Legends is still an amazing game. I have friends that play it, and I occasionally re-download it, mainly for Celebration, just because, I don't know, Legends feels more you gotta be playing all the time. But the one thing that riddles both games, the biggest issue, it's weird to say for a game, but power creep, or difficulty spike, because Legends is mostly online, and if you don't have a brand new Ultra characters, you're losing, because the Ultra characters are so overly broken. And for Dokkan Battle, if you don't got the newest units, you're not doing some of the hardest. You're not doing some of the harder stuff, and it's way harder to do. Literally, Red Zone, some of it is impossible to do if you're a free-to-play player. Luckily, I've gotten lucky with my summons, so I've been able to do them. And I have spent a few dollars, or I've probably spent like $50 in summons for Dokkan, and I don't think I spent any Legends. Dragon Ball Z for the Connect is obviously F tier. I could not play on the channel. A very, very special game. I played it a few times at a friend's house. I'm just basing off of that. And from what I remember, it was terrible. And I looked at videos of it, and it was still terrible. The Connect was just terrible. That's it. Tenkaichi Tag Team. You know I love this game. It's S tier. I think it perfectly takes the Budokai Tenkaichi formula and puts it in a great 2v2 scenario while also going on to PSP. And even though it had worse graphics, it had a style that I'll just go to my channel. I'm gonna take that off just in case. I don't know what's beyond here. Okay, nothing bad, but still. Oh no, that's pretty weird. Sorry, Tommy NFG posted a strange thumbnail. But yeah, I'll just show like a clip of mine. That way, people will be like, ah. Okay, that's there. But yeah, where's Dragon Ball games? I'm sorry for this little thing. I just wanted to show you all the little Tenkaichi Tag Team. One of the first ones I did, first videos I did while covering Dragon Ball games, which I still I will want to go back to. I just think I'm not gonna play my voice. I just think if it will load, because my Wi-Fi is being very slow today, very, very slow. I have no idea what's happening. You can kind of see it down here, there, yeah. It has a style to it that I think works perfectly in what it's trying to do. So for that reason, it's S tier. It works very well for PSP game. Perfectly encapsulates Tenkaichi, the Tenkaichi, Budokai Tenkaichi series well, and I just think it's overall very well, and it's 2-player. Ultimate Battle 22 is F tier. I could not play on the channel because it would not work. It literally wouldn't work to record. It's just a terrible game. I just couldn't record. I literally couldn't record this. This actually might be one of the worst. It probably is the worst Dragon Ball game of all time. First of all, it just looks absolutely disgusting. All of it. Oh my god, the combat is so lackluster and very, very basic. Like, literally, I would say OG arcade fighting games had more like depth to combat than Ultimate Battle 22, and this is a PS1 game. Like, that's just a terrible thing. Now, Dragon Ball for the Game Boy Advance. I believe this is the one I played, and if it is, it's a B tier game. I think it's a fine beat 'em up. And actually, I just realized for all my grips, I'm gonna move those down to C tier. It's a fine beat 'em up. I had fun playing it. I might actually continue it for a channel eventually, but after a few series. But even then, I might do in between. I think it's a fine game. It's a fine little fighting game. There's a bunch of cool stuff. There's some cool stuff you can do. I just think, you know what? I don't have any really awful gripes with it. I think it's a great game for the Game Boy Advance. I would have played it tons as a kid if I had it. Now this game I don't know. But Dragon Ball GT Transformations, I'll put it the same as that Dragon Ball for Game Boy Advance. It's a fine little game. I do think it's slightly worse than this game, But I don't think it's terrible. I actually had a bit of fun playing it. And I think my reason are both same game. And I might... Oh my god, Dragon Ball GT Final Belt. I will say, is it as bad as these two? No. It's D tier. It is worse than Battle Z. It looks very special. Like, especially combat and stuff. Like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's punches. Very strange. The combat is terrible, I have to say. Like, really, really bad. But I think what this game is special for is Super Saiyan 4 in general. This was I believe the first time the Western audience saw Super Saiyan 4. Like, the first time. And they saw this amazing transformation with this amazing music. And it's just special. I think the HUD is actually really... I do like the HUD a lot. I just think they could... they could remake this today with like some better combat, and I think it would be an amazing game. I honestly would not mind it at all. In Dragon Ball Origins 2, I believe, I did not play this on channel, but it's the same as the Origins. It's C tier. I actually gonna drop it's just, it was alright. I decided not to upload it because I didn't really have a lot of commentary. But yeah, that's it. The Dragon Ball Fusions, it's an A tier game. I think it's more of like, it's not like a serious game. It's not a fighting game. It's more of like a ridiculous little goofy game. Like, I think the whole fusion thing is really cool. Fusing together different characters. You get a custom character and all that. I just think it's a neat little game that people should probably try out if they've never played before. It's a 3DS game. No, I don't know that. Now, Dragon Ball Revenge of Piccolo is a game I've played before, and I was meaning to play on the channel. However, I forgot about it. So, expect soon a video about this. This game is A tier. Like, really, this is a good game. People forgot about this game for a long time, and I never even heard of it until I forgot who it was. It was Dododoy or somebody. Nanojax, Dododoy, one of them. They played Dragon Ball Revenge Piccolo. Might have been C Reacts. They played it, and I looked at it and I said, "Wow, that game looks fun." And I played it a bit, and it was super, super fun. It's actually an amazing game, and I do want to play it for the channel because I had fun with it, without a doubt. Now, Budokai 2, same regards. All the Budokai games are just all really amazing games. Same with the Tenkaichi games. I just think there's no like real downside to these games. They age like fine wine. Now, the HD collection, never ever played, but I did hear it was not that good. Never played collectible card game. Extreme Budokai, Extreme Butoden, whatever it's called. Extreme Butoden. It's a A tier game. I think it's a very cool game. It does get it gets a bit fan servicey like Super Saiyan 4 and all that. I think the combat's fine. It's pretty nice. I think its two biggest gripes is one, why'd they make it a 3DS exclusive? They should have done some like, that could have been 3DS exclusives, but they should have done like an upgraded like graphics version for like console. Because it's a very good game. You can tell it was like the outline for FighterZ, which we will get to later. And I just think it's a very nice game. It's not very hard, or it's not always very hard. Sometimes it could. I beat story mode. I got Super Saiyan God. Actually, one thing, a big reason why it's not an S tier is character balance is absolutely terrible. Yeah, Super Dragon Ball Z. It's a fine game. It's B tier. I think I have a lot of fun playing. I have fun playing it. It wasn't terrible. I wasn't like, oh, I have to play this. I'm like, oh no, I get to play Super Dragon Ball Z, and you know what? I had fun with it, and I have no like gripe about it. It was good. Dragon Ball Z Infinite World, A tier. I think it is on par with the Budokai series. If not, better than Budokai 2, but worse than 3 and 1. The only reason I put an A tier is because it's a PS2 game. And while that's like, why would you do it? There were PS2 games too. This was a PS2 game released only for PS2 when the PS3 was already out for like a year or two. So it never got that PS3 version that could have been probably one of the most memorable Dragon Ball games, or best Dragon Ball games. However, they fumbled that. The game itself is amazing, but I just think with that in mind, I can't. Now, Dragon Ball Legendary Warriors, I almost most likely played it. It might have been the card game that I played the other day on that channel. Not the other day, but like not too long ago. Probably was. But oh yes, it was. And I have to say, from what I played, you see, I said it's boring during the video. Yeah, it's C tier, because I will say it is it's the same as Harukana Desetsu. It's just like, it's okay. I'll say it's probably lower on C tier, just because it's borderline D tier, because it's very boring. Very boring. But I will say boring isn't necessarily terrible. Like, I'd rather watch a boring movie than one that is just like absolutely terrible and makes me want to leave the movie theater. Or it's just, I can't put in D tier. Well, I could, but it's just, I feel like these games have more problems. Also, I haven't played very much of the game, and it could probably get more exciting the further you get into. I just think that whole tutorial part's pretty slow, and that drags on the gambit. Apparently that's a physical thing, and I don't know what it is. Dragon Ball Sagas is actually, when I say Ultimate Battle 22 is one of the worst games, Dragon Ball Sagas is the worst Dragon Ball game by far. My God, Dragon Ball Sagas is offensive to the eyes. This game is so unbelievably terrible, unbelievably boring, that I literally got soft locked in the first area because something didn't spawn. And after I played it after the video too, seeing if it's just that, I got even further. My God, I'm never touching this game again. When I tell you, when I made that allegory for Legendary Super Warrior about boring versus terrible, this is terrible. This is not terrible. This is terrible and boring mixed together. And I think actual Dragon Ball Z Sagas would be sorry, I had to yawn. It might be one of the worst games I've ever had the pleasure of playing. Like, legitimately. Without a doubt, I will never be playing again. Like, God, never pick that game up. And Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi, also F tier. The only good thing about Ultimate Tenkaichi, sorry, I had to burp for a second, was the graphics. I think the graphics are actually really good, and that game had so much potential. All they had to do was follow that Budokai format. They just had to do the Budokai format. That's all they had to do. I would have not complained. I would have loved it, and everyone would have loved it too. But they just decided, you know what? Nah, let's do rock, paper, scissors, the game, and let's make everything have to do with that. So you fail half the time. Everything you do is just terrible. This game isn't fun. If there anybody who actually 100% completed this game, I pray for you. every day that you spent the rest of your life, the rest of your time on this earth, better than you did playing this game. Yeah, that's what I have to say about it. And DragonBall Supersonic Warriors, I hold the same opinion as Supersonic Warriors 2. Where did I put that again? I think I put it here, somewhere. Where? Am I blind? Yeah, I am. Supersonic Warriors 2 is just an improved version of Supersonic Warriors, but they are both mighty fine games. And DragonBall Legacy Goku 2, A tier game. Actually no, S tier. I just think it doesn't have. I think this is an amazing like little Dragon Ball RPG. It's not super in depth, but it's in depth enough where it's fun. You gotta go through Dragon Ball Z, and I just think it's really good. It's really good. You just gotta go play it. And Zenkai Battle, I've never been able to play because unfortunately it's Japan arcade exclusive. I think people have put it out for here, but I can't get it working, or it's just not working. Now Dragon Ball Taiketsu, I honestly think I did download this because it definitely sounds familiar. And yeah, I know what this is now. This is I did play this, and I can see why I blocked this out from my memory. So let's just show you. You've definitely seen this game. This is what it looks like. And you see some people are like, oh, but it's a Game Boy Advance game. It can't look amazing. This game was also Game Boy Advance. It looked great. This game was Game Boy Advance. It looked fine. Let's see Goku's, that series Game Boy Advance. Supersonic Warriors Game Boy Advance. This game is just terrible. When I said Ultimate Battle 22 had the worst combat, I was lying to myself. I was lying to the world. This is even worse. Like, without a doubt. The only reason I'll say it's slightly better than Battle 22 is because at least they have the excuse of Game Boy Advance, and they were on a console. And I'm pretty sure one is more powerful than the other. But even then, they're both terrible. Yeah. That's literally what I have to say about those games. Now. Dragon Ball's Buu Theory is also a bad game. It's D tier. I would say not F tier, because I think the F tier games are actually abysmal. But I do say this was a huge step down from Legacy of Goku 2. Like, literally, almost everything they had going for Legacy of Goku 2 and was good, they screwed up here. They really did. The thing I'll say, I do like them trying to write Janemba into the story. I believe that was this game. I think that was pretty. It was pretty nice of them to do. But yeah, I don't have good comments on this game. But I don't have like the worst. But I think it is just like extreme downgrade from the other games. I will say I'm pretty sure this has player versus player. It's terrible player versus player, but I think that is actually pretty neat. Dragon Ball Legacy of Goku. It's B tier. I do like how these games are completely split between like a tier in between. I just think Legacy of Goku has issues. It's fun, but I think Legacy of Goku 2 is just way better. Legacy of Goku 1 has like a difficulty problem. It has a save problem. It just has a lot of problems. But it is still a mighty fun game. It may not be the best, but I still find it really fun. Now, Xenoverse 1. If you asked me when it came out, and the newer games were on this, I would have said an A tier game. However, looking back on it, especially after Xenoverse 2, this game is C tier, without a doubt. It is revolutionary, I will say that. For Dragon Ball games, this was a complete different ball game. Like, you get to customize your own character, choose your own movesets, all that. But God, Xenoverse 2 is the most unbalanced game of all time. Every other character, or every other move, is an infinite combo. So literally, you hit one move and you have an infinite combo. It's just, this game did not age well. And that's weird to say, since it only came out like 2015. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's almost 10 years ago. Yeah. It's crazy how time flies. 2015. God. I'm old. Now, Xenoverse 2 is an A tier game. The things holding back from S tier is 1, terrible netcode. Not terrible, but like, just bad. And 2, let it stop making DLCs and swear on Xenoverse 3, please. I like Xenoverse 2, but they move on. I do think everything that Xenoverse 2 1 did good, Xenoverse 2 like did better, and everything it did bad, it did better. I just think it was super revolutionary. The one thing I'll say is I actually kind of like the Xenoverse 1 like HUD world better. I just think it looks more vibrant and well. That's another reason I can't put it up there. And now we're ending this video off. I didn't play a lot of these games down here, but everyone, their mother, has played Dragon Ball FighterZ. I forgot to mention the other game, the Breakers. That would be like a B tier game. Just it has some fixes to do, but it's a good game. But anyway, Dragon Ball FighterZ is the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest anime game that we currently have, or that has ever been. That is my full, honest opinion. This game is just, it's not even good for anime games. Because some anime games are really bad. Like, you saw JK Curse Clash that just came out. Terrible. But I just think this game is absolutely phenomenal. And I think one of the best fighting games out there right now. I think when they have issues that they do actually fix, even if it's not always the same, just the game looks beautiful, the combat's amazing, it's well thought out, like tons of different like assists work so well into it. I think FighterZ is the pinnacle of Dragon Ball games for now. There's a certain game that's coming out, but I think it's hard to get better in FighterZ when it comes to the anime games. I would say anime fighting games, but just anime games in general. This game is just phenomenal. Everyone knows it. And yeah, that'll be in the video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe if you made it to the video. Comment Budokai. See y'all later.